Hi everyone, I am GN Reddy, Chemistry faculty. This is my online classes. In this session, I am going to explain ionic equivalent topic concept, that is pH titration curve in acid-base titrations. Okay, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel, that is GN Reddy IIT JEE Chemistry online classes. Look at this. In this session, I am going to explain pH calculations at the various stages during the addition of burette reagent in the titrations. For that, first see what is pH and how to calculate pH and what are the different cases there. Look at this one here. pH concept was introduced by SPL Sorensen. And how this pH is calculated? This is minus log of active mass of H plus, where A is the active mass. Here this is also written as activity coefficient into molar concentration. If H plus concentration is less than or equal to 1 molar, default activity coefficient is equal to 1 and active mass of H plus default is equal to molar concentration of H plus. Okay, what do you understand from this? From this we can write pH is equal to minus log H plus concentration or hydronium ion concentration. That means pH is used to express low concentration of hydronium ion concentration, express low concentration of hydronium ion H plus in the solution, because this is valid only when the H plus concentration is less than or equal to 1 molar. Okay, what is the pH scale? And at 25 degrees centigrade, this pH scale is 0 to 14, where 7 represents neutral solution. In between 0 to 7 is acidic nature solution, and in between 7 to 14 is the basic nature solution. This is a pH scale at 25 degrees centigrade. But if you use pH scale at any temperature, it is not like this. It is valid only at 25 degrees centigrade. This pH scale at any temperature is in between 0 to pKW, and where pKW by 2 suggests neutral solution and 0 to pKW by 2 is acidic nature solution, and pKW by 2 to pKW is basic nature solution. Right here, what are the important formulas related to this pH? So pH is equal to minus log of H plus. Already we have seen this one. Like this we can write Px is equal to minus log x. Instead of this we can use either pH, OH. Instead of x we can use H, OH, or pKa, pKb, pKw, like this. In all cases we can express this. This is minus of log H plus, this is minus of log OH minus, this is minus of log Ka. Pk is equal to minus of log Ka, pKb is equal to minus of log Kb, pKw is equal to minus log Kw. And generalized equation is pH is equal to minus log H plus. We know that. How this pH and pOH related? pH plus pOH related to pKw. This is also written as pKa plus pKb. This is for a given conjugate acid base pair. Conjugate acid base pair, pKa, pKb values. This is 14 at 25 degrees centigrade. So this is a general relation which is used in the most of the numericals. this is the pH is equal to pH plus pOH is equal to pKw, that is equal to pKa plus pKb, where pKa pKb are the for a given conjugate acid base pair, so Ka Kb values, and that is equal to 14 at 25 degrees centigrade. So this will be useful equation, and especially as per our IIT advanced syllabus, familiarly we have to see pH calculation in different cases. Acids, in acids we have to see strong acids, weak acids. In weak acid we have monoprotic acid HA model, diprotic acid H2A model, triprotic acid H3A model. Similarly, bases, if you look at bases, strong base and weak base, familiarly we are using this one. Apart from these different salts and corresponding salt hydrolysis pH, in this salt hydrolysis we are going to study 6 type of salts, strong acid, strong base salt, this is NaCl model, even weak acid, strong base salt, that is sodium acetate model, and weak base strong acid model salt, that is ammonium chloride, and weak acid weak base salt, that is ammonium acetate. And apart from these we have to see sodium bicarbonate type and sodium carbonate type. These are the important salts which are used in the pH titrations. And also we have to use buffer solutions. In buffer solutions we have acidic buffer solution, basic buffer solution, and simple buffer solution. Acidic buffer solution, basic buffer solution, and simple buffer solution. This is also known as neutral buffer solution. Neutral buffer solution. So finally we have to see all these pH calculations which are useful calculations in the pH titration curves. You have see one by one these cases. pH calculations in different acids. Yeah, I am giving first strong acid. In this strong acid, how do you express pH? pH is equal to minus log of H plus, and this is simply represented as for a given acid, if the normality given, normality directly represents H plus concentration. This is minus log of normality of the strong acid, like this calculates strong acid. And if you look at weak acids, there is a HA model. This is the monoprotic acid. So this gives H plus plus A minus, whereas H2A model, this is the weak diprotic acid. It gives 2 dissociations, and so this HA minus, in the second step HA minus gives H plus plus A2 minus. So this is weak monoprotic acid, this is the weak diprotic acid. Similarly, if you look at this, the third one, this is a weak triprotic acid, H3A model. So it will give 3 dissociation, 3 protons, H plus plus, this is H2A minus, and this H2A minus on dissociation again gives H plus plus, HA2 minus, HA2 minus again on dissociation gives H plus plus A3 minus. Okay, if you look at this strong acid, already I have discussed this pH calculations. How do you calculate this? This is minus log of normality of strong acid. And for weak acid HA model, here acid dissociation constant Ka there. So this Ka is H plus into A minus by HA. From the initial concentration and corresponding degree of dissociation, we can calculate. So if alpha is the degree of dissociation, at equilibrium C alpha part consumed, C minus C alpha, this is C alpha, C alpha. From this we can write C alpha whole square by C minus C alpha, and you know H plus is equal to C alpha, therefore Ka is equal to H plus square by C minus H plus. From this, if you follow, this is exact calculation. For exact calculations, use this one. Suppose if you want to follow approximate calculations, you can neglect H plus in the denominator. Therefore, Ka is equal to H plus square by C. From this, H plus is equal to root over KC. From this only we can calculate. So, pH of the solution, this is approximate calculation. Approximate calculations. So, this equation meant for exact calculation, whereas second equation, this is meant for exact calculation, this is meant for approximate calculations. Even if you look at this weak diprotic acids, in weak diprotic acid there are two dissociation. For those first dissociation constant, second dissociation constant there, and in weak triprotic acid three dissociations there. First dissociation constant, second dissociation constant, third dissociation constant. Here you have to notice one point clearly. In polyprotic acid, first dissociation gives the overall solution H plus. From that only we have to calculate pH of the solution. Therefore, here like this we can write Ka1 is equal to H plus square by C minus H plus. So, from this, if you want to write exact rough calculation, what is the expression? H plus is equal to root over Ka1C. This is approximate calculation. So, this is a weak diprotic acid. Similarly, if you take the weak triprotic acid, same. The first dissociation only gives the overall H plus. Therefore, here also Ka1 is equal to, this is H plus square by C minus H plus. This is exact calculation. Approximation, what is this? Approximation is, so neglect this H plus in denominator. Therefore, from this we can write H plus is equal to root over Ka1C. From this only we can calculate that corresponding pH. So, this is the pH of the strong acids, and from this get the pH of weak monoprotic acid. From this get the pH of the weak diprotic acid. From this get the pH of the weak triprotic acid. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the bases, so different cases, bases, pH calculations in bases, pH calculation in bases. Already I mentioned bases are the strong base and weak base, and if you look at strong base, so normality of the base, strong base represents OH minus concentration of that solution. From this we can write POH. What is the POH? Minus log of OH minus concentration. That is POH is equal to minus log of normality of the strong base. So, from this pH is equal to, so pKw minus POH. Already I given that relation. You know that relation is pH plus POH is equal to pKw. From this relation only we can write pH expression. So, pH is equal to pKw minus POH, that is 14 minus POH at 25 degrees centigrade. Like this, in strong bases you can calculate POH then pH. Similarly, if you look at the weak base cases, weak base are the monoacidic weak base, where BOH is the monoacidic weak base. Here on dissociation it gives B plus plus OH minus. Here a dissociation constant Kb value there, and here also we can follow initial concentration C. It is 0 0. So, after dissociation, by taking degree of dissociation alpha, at equilibrium this is the C minus C alpha, C alpha, C alpha. From this we can write Kb expression. This is the B plus into OH minus concentration by, so this BOH concentration, that is equal to C alpha into C alpha by C minus C alpha. But we know OH minus is C alpha. From this Kb is equal to OH minus square by C minus OH minus. So, what do you understand? Here also same. This is used for exact calculation. This is for exact calculation. Suppose if you want to take the approximation, in approximation, what is the calculated equation? This is just neglect OH minus in the denominator. Therefore, from this OH minus is equal to root over KBC. From that calculate POH, that is the minus log of OH minus, and from that get the pH value. So this is the strong base and weak base calculation. Next, salts. Actually we know neutralization equation. If you take the neutralization equation, what is the neutralization equation? Acid plus base gives rise to salt plus water. This is Arrhenius neutralization equation. So the formed salt undergoing salt hydrolysis. What is a salt hydrolysis? One of the ion in the salt. So maybe cation or cation of the salt or anion of the salt, or even sometimes both cation of the salt and anion of the salt interacts with the water and gives rise back a acid plus base. That is called salt hydrolysis. Salt hydrolysis is the exactly reverse reaction of the neutralization equation. So here in this we are having different type of salts, and directly I am giving this because our main motto is calculation of pH at the various stages during the titrations. Those are in pH titration curves. That's why directly I am giving this one. Here strong acid, strong base salt. So like sodium chloride type salt, and in this pH is calculated by this pKw by 2. You know pKw by 2, that is 7 at 25 degrees centigrade. Suppose if you take the weak acid versus strong base salt, that is the sodium acetate model. Here pH is calculated by pKw by 2 plus half into pKa plus log C. So by this you can calculate, and if you take the weak base and strong acid salt, here pH, that is ammonium chloride type salt. In ammonium chloride type salt pH is calculated by pKw by 2 minus half into pKb plus log C. And even if you take the weak acid and weak base type salts, that is the ammonium acetate type salt, NH4 plus and OAC minus. In this pH is calculated by pKw by 2, so plus half into pKa minus pKb. Even amphiprotic anion salt. What is the amphiprotic anion salt? In amphiprotic anion salt, like sodium bicarbonate, pH of amphiprotic anion. So see this example. In this, suppose if you take the H2CO3 on dissociation, first gives HCO3 minus. HCO3 minus gives CO3 2 minus. Now where HCO3 minus is amphiprotic anion, which donates proton and which accepts proton. For this, so formal dissociation constant there and dissociation constant there. Based on these we can calculate. So pH of sodium bicarbonate model is this is pKa1 plus pKa2 by 2. By this you can calculate. That means amphiprotic anion formed dissociation constant and dissociated dissociation constant pKa average values. Like that in amphiprotic anion you can calculate pH values. And so pH of sodium carbonate model. So this also taking from this carbonate ion related so K dissociation, that is Ka2. It is like anion salt hydrolysis like sodium acetate, where pH is calculated by pKw by 2 plus half into pKa of that carbonate ion formation. or that anion formation. Here that is Ka2, so pKa2 plus log C, like this. So in our syllabus we are having these 6 type of salts. These 6 type of salts pH can be calculated by like this. If you look at these formulas where concentration there, C, this C is equal to actually normality of the ion which undergoes salt hydrolysis, that is simply taken as according to law of chemical equivalence, it is the normality of the salt only. Don't take the molarity. So these are it is a neutralization reaction. Reverse reaction of the neutralization is the salt hydrolysis. In salt, cation, anion there, therefore sometimes cation of the salt or sometimes anion of the salt, sometimes both ions reacts with water and gives back that acid and base, and it is exactly reverse reaction of the neutralization. Various type of salt hydrolysis there. As per our syllabus, we have to see these salts and corresponding pH calculation. And the first important point in this salt hydrolysis, during the titrations, salts are formed at equivalence point, in the titrations. This is a useful point to detect salts during the titrations. Okay, so we completed acids data, base data, even salts data. Now come to the buffer solutions. What is a buffer? Buffer solution is this is a solution which resists pH change during the addition of small amount of strong acids, or strong base, or even any quantity of the water. So that is the buffer solution. Actually, this buffer can be taken like this. It is a combination of weak acid. And weak electrolyte and its conjugate part. Buffer solutions are the combination of weak electrolyte and conjugate part. So there are different type of buffers there. In this acidic buffer solution there, basic buffer solutions, simple or neutral buffer solutions there. How these acidic buffer solutions can be obtained? You know, buffer is a combination of weak electrolyte. Already I mentioned this point. It is a weak electrolyte and its conjugate part combination. In acidic buffer solution, this is the weak acid plus its conjugate base. So that is the combination of acidic buffer solution. Okay, how do you identify this acidic buffer solution in different combinations? So this is not only it is actual definition. From this you can identify like this. This is weak acid plus weak acid salt with a strong base, and the second one weak acid in excess plus strong base. Even this combination also gives acidic buffer solution. And the third one, weak acid salt with a strong base in excess plus strong acid. Even this combination also gives this type of acidic buffer solutions. Okay, to get the maximum buffer capacity means to act a good buffer. What is the condition for acidic buffer solution? These must be in 1:1 ratio. 1:1 ratio gives maximum buffer capacity. How this pH is calculated? So this pH is calculated by Henderson's equation, that is pKa plus log of salt concentration by weak acid concentration. But in numericals, better to use equivalents to avoid ambiguity. So that's why this expression is pKa plus log of equivalence of salt by equivalence of weak acid. So this is the acidic buffer solution pH calculation. pH is equal to pKa plus log of salt by weak acid, that is simply written as pH is equal to pKa plus log of equivalent of salt by equivalent of weak acid. For maximum buffer capacity, what is the condition? 1:1 ratio gives maximum buffer capacity. This is the data about acidic buffer solution. Similarly, if you take the basic buffer solution, basic buffer solutions are like this. You know what is a buffer? It is a combination of weak electrolyte and its conjugate part. Here also take that weak electrolyte is weak base and its conjugate part is a conjugate acid. Now this combination makes that basic buffer solution. Here also, how do you identify this basic buffer solution in different combinations? So in different combinations it can be identified by weak base plus weak base salt with strong acid. This is one combination to identify basic buffer solution, and the second combination is this is weak base in excess plus strong acid. By this you can identify basic buffer solution. And the third combination, weak base salt with strong acid in excess plus strong base. These combinations simply represents basic buffer solution. In examination point of view, we can notice like that. Here also same, for maximum buffer capacity so this combination is in 1:1 ratio for maximum buffer capacity. For maximum buffer capacity, so what is the ratio? This ratio must be 1:1 ratio can be taken, and like this acidic buffer solution, for basic buffer solution also we can calculate POH by Henderson's equation. And what is the corresponding POH equation? POH is equal to, this is the pKb plus log of equivalence of salt by equivalence of weak base. Like this directly you can take it. So this is the second type of buffer solution. And the third type of buffer solution is simple buffer solution, that is simple buffer solution or neutral buffer solution. This is also known as a neutral buffer solution. Here this is the combination of weak acid and weak base mixture, that is weak acid, weak base, salt. Anyway, this is the combination of weak acid and its conjugate base plus weak base and its conjugate acid. All four species comes in this mixture. That's why this is nothing but neutral buffer solution or simple buffer solution. Here also this pH is calculated by this equation, that is the pKw by 2 plus half into pKa minus pKb. Like this we are having 3 buffers and corresponding pH calculations. This is the acidic buffer solution pH calculation. This is the basic buffer solution POH calculation. This is the simple buffer solution pH calculation. So if you look at the previous data, I explained different acid, strong acid, weak acid pH calculations, and then strong base, weak base pH calculations, and different salts. You know, salts will be formed only at the equivalence point during the titration. I given 6 salts and corresponding pH calculation, and buffers, 3 type of buffers and corresponding pH calculation. So based on this data, you can understand the pH titration curves and the calculation of pH at various stages during the addition of burette reagent in that particular titration. So to understand that, first see what about titration and its concept. See titration. In titration, so we are taking, this is the arrangement of titration, and this is the conical flask, and already they given this is the pipette. From pipette we can take the solution into conical flask, then add indicator to the conical flask solution, then from burette add one reagent till the completion of the reaction. Now this total process is nothing but titration. Till the completion of the reaction means after adding indicator to conical flask solution, first you are getting one color, and then by adding burette reagent slowly somewhere that color change takes place, then that will be taken as the end point of the titration. So that means whatever the equivalents present in this conical flask, those are exactly consumed by some equivalents of base which is coming from burette. That process is nothing but titration. What is a titration? It is a process of the addition of burette reagent. Process of addition of burette reagent. Addition of burette reagent to the conical flask. Burette reagent to the conical flask reagent. Conical flask reagent for the completion of the reaction. For the completion of the reaction. That is nothing but titration. In this titration, we have the terminology titrant, titrate. Titrate, or it's another terminology, analyte. Analyte. So burette reagent is nothing but a titrant. This is the burette reagent, and conical flask reagent is analyte or titrate. Okay, so in this we are using equivalence point. Equivalence point. It is the point during the titration where equivalence of burette reagent is equal to equivalence of the conical flask reagent. It is a point in the titration or stage in the titration where equivalence of burette reagent is equal to equivalence of conical flask reagent. Conical flask reagent, that particular stage is nothing but equivalence point. How do you identify equivalence point? Equivalence point is simply approximately same as that of end point, that is the color change point. Color change point is detected by indicators. Detected by indicators. So what is indicator? It is some third substance which is added to the conical flask reagent to detect the equivalence point or end point in the titration. This is the general terminology which is used in the titration. Now we have to see, so what about this acid base indicator and different acid base indicator and color changes? If you look at this acid base indicator, this is weak organic acid, weak organic acid or base, which shows one color in acidic medium, and another color in basic medium, So if you look at this example, here I given phenolphthalein, so indicator as well as methyl in orange indicator colors. If you look at phenolphthalein, this phenolphthalein indicator denotation is HPH. This is the weak organic acid, and this HPH is simply represented as H plus pH minus ion. Okay, this is the phenolphthalein indicator, color changes, phenolphthalein indicator. And methyl orange, this representation is MeOH because it is the weak organic base, and this gives MeOH at equilibrium, Me plus OH minus. Okay, so I given these colors in a different medium. In acidic medium, what is the methyl orange color? Red. This is orange red, and in basic medium, yellow. methyl orange, this is red and yellow, and phenolphthalein color in acidic medium it is a colorless, and basic medium pink color. For every indicator, here what I mentioned here, methyl orange indicator mentioned, this is a weak organic base, and phenolphthalein indicator, this is a weak organic acid. Okay, already I given these representations. This is the methyl orange equilibrium representation, this is the phenolphthalein equilibrium representation, and in this undissociated form has one color and ionic form has another color. So based on this you can get it. Here one important note is what is the difference between normal pH scale and indicator pH scale. Normal pH scale is 0 to 14 at 25 degrees, this is a 7 neutral, and this is acidic zone, and this is a basic zone, this one. Whereas for indicators pH scale is there. What is that pH scale? So pH of conical flask solution, this is the pH of the conical flask solution, is in between. This is a pH, for every indicator some pH range there. This is the pKd minus 1 to pKd plus 1, this is nothing but pH range of the indicator. So at or before this pKd minus 1, the zone is nothing but acidic medium, and at or after this the zone is treated as the basic medium, and in between this is a neutral medium or no distinct color medium. So this is the most important point for indicators. Normal pH scale is 0 to 7 acidic, 7 to 14 basic, 7 is neutral. But for indicators this is completely different. So what is this one here? pH of the conical flask solution is less than or equal to this, that is acidic zone, greater than or equal to pKd plus 1, that is the basic nature solution, in between that can be treated as neutral. Like this is the acid base indicator. The most important examples are the methyl orange indicator and phenolphthalein. I have shown those colors in acidic medium and basic medium. For every indicator there is a definite pH range. What is the importance of pH range? I explained. This is nothing but pH range. For every indicator pH range is there, that is pKd minus 1 to pKd plus 1. So this side one medium acidic medium, that side second medium basic medium, in between no distinct color, that is nothing but a neutral medium for indicators. Right here, so what our main topic is the pH titration curve. So if you add burette reagent to the conical flask reagent, so what happened here? pH fluctuation takes place. I am talking about acid base titrations only. So take base in burette, acid in conical flask, or so other Volta condition also, no problem. When you add burette reagent to conical flask reagent, pH of the conical flask reagent fluctuates with the addition of volume of burette reagent. Here selection of the indicator concept there. For every titration there is a suitable indicator. That suitable indicator can be obtained by selection of indicator concept. Here I am talking about directly these points. If you take the strong acid versus strong base, for this we can use phenolphthalein indicator or methyl orange indicator, because look at this one, it is a strong acid versus strong base indicator. In this case, in every titration there is a definite pH change. This is the pH change during the titration. This part is nothing but pH change during the titration. So in this pH change, the pH range of the indicator must be encompassed. So based on that only we can use this selection of the indicator concept. If you look at this one here, this is the methyl orange. So from this pH onwards, what is the methyl orange color? So in acidic medium orange red, in basic medium yellow color will be obtained. In phenolphthalein in acidic medium colorless, So from this onwards pink color will be obtained. This is the pink color, and from this onwards, so up to this yellow color, and from this onwards pink up to this pink will be obtained. So like this we can understand the selection of the indicator. We can use any one of the indicator. Suppose if we take the weak acid versus strong base, in this case phenolphthalein indicator is useful but not methyl orange indicator. So if you look at this one, this is weak acid under strong base titration. So here this is the pH change. So methyl orange zone is here only there, therefore you can't use methyl orange, therefore we have to use only phenolphthalein indicator. Similarly, if you take the weak base versus strong acid, here we can't use a phenolphthalein indicator, we can use only methyl orange indicator, because here this is the pH change at the end point. Here if you look at this one, in this zone methyl orange color change will be noticed, but after this only phenolphthalein color change there, therefore you can't use this phenolphthalein indicator. So for strong acid, strong base, you can use phenolphthalein indicator or methyl orange indicator. For weak acid versus strong base, you can use only phenolphthalein but not methyl orange. Weak base versus strong acid, don't use phenolphthalein, use only methyl orange. That can be understood by using this concept. What is the concept of that here? That is a condition of selection of the indicator. So pH range of the indicator must be encompassed in pH change at the end point. pH change at the end point during the titration. So this is the condition. So based on this only we can understand. If you look at this one, this zone is nearly 3 to 11 zone, and this zone is 7 to 10 zone, and this zone is 4 to 7 zone. Already in previous slide we have seen. So pH range of the indicator, the pH range of the indicator must be encompassed in this zone. If you look at weak acid versus weak base titration, there is no sharp change. Here the important note is no sharp change at the end point. That's why we can't use so any indicator in this. So no sharp change. That's why don't use any indicator, and it is not considerable titration. So I am going to explain pH calculation in these three titration at various stages. Now look at this one here. If you draw the pH titration, pH versus volume of burette reagent. This is volume of burette reagent only. Volume of burette reagent. Then how pH will be fluctuating. So in I am giving two cases. First case, what is this case here? This is a strong acid or weak acid versus a strong base. In the first graph, this is the case, this is the burette. Here I am taking strong base, and in conical flask I am taking strong acid. Or take the strong base in the burette and a weak acid in the conical flask. So if you take this titration, the graph will be obtained like that. So if you take this titration, the graph will be obtained like this. Similarly, if you take the second diagrammatic representation, in burette I am taking the acid, and in conical flask I am taking the base. So if you look at those diagrams, graphical representation, so if it is a strong base, graph comes like this, it is weak base like this. This is the strong acid in burette and strong base in conical flask, strong acid in a burette and weak base in a conical flask. The first graph represents these titrations and corresponding comparison, and the second graph represents these titrations and corresponding comparison. Strong base versus strong acid graph comes like that. Weak base versus strong acid graph comes like this. Anyway, here I am going to explain. So this first curve, strong acid versus strong base titration. Example, see this one, this is the strong acid versus strong base titration. I am taking example in this burette. Let it is a sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. In conical flask I am taking HCl. HCl. Now what is the neutralization equation takes place? Neutralization equation. So HCl reacts with sodium hydroxide and gives rise to NaCl plus water. This is the neutralization equation. Here, so we are measuring the pH of the conical flask solution only. It's a very, very important note in all calculations. What is this? pH of conical flask solution. pH of conical flask solution only obtained. Solution is measured by using pH meter. Measured. That's why we have to see always, so conical pH of the conical flask solution only. So here this is the neutralization equation. What is the neutralization equation? HCl plus NaOH gives us to NaCl plus water. Here initially in conical flask which are present? Initially, so only HCl is there. Only HCl is there. And sodium hydroxide already taking in the burette reagent. This is the burette reagent. Products not there. Products not there. Now if you add this burette reagent gradually, what happened? Somewhere equivalence point will be noticed. That is nothing but end point. That is end point. So at equivalence point what happened? What are the equivalents of HCl? Exactly that same number of equivalents of NaOH will be added from the burette reagent. Then this is completely consumed, and even this is also completely consumed. That means up to the equivalence point, it is a limiting reagent. You are adding slowly. That's why whatever you are adding drop wise, that will be consumed. That's why at up to equivalence point, burette reagent is a limiting reagent. Here what happened here? Salt and so water will be formed here. So this is initial and this is at equivalence point, and in between these, so in between initial and equivalence point what happened? Here in conical flask HCl taken initially, that will be slowly consumed by adding NaOH. But here at equivalence point only it is completely consumed. Therefore here left HCl present and also formed NaCl is there. Formed NaCl is there. So like this in between initial and equivalence point, these are present in the conical flask solution. And anyway burette reagent not at all present, because that is a limiting reagent, added one is immediately consumed. So initially only HCl present, at equivalence point only products there. In between initial and equivalence point left HCl and formed NaCl there. And after equivalence point, so what happened here? Anyway HCl is not there, but still you are adding burette reagent. You are adding burette reagent, sodium hydroxide. Now this will be present in the conical flask and also these products there. So what is this product? NaCl. So after equivalence point which are present, these only present. Now you have to look at these 4 situations. If you understand these 4 situations in every titration, from that only you can get this calculation part. So initially which is present? Only HCl is present. Only HCl is present. At equivalence point which is present? Only NaCl is present. And in between left HCl and formed NaCl, and after equivalence point left sodium hydroxide and So this NaCl, these are present. Now based on this we can calculate. So here this is the first case, initial case. This is the initial case and this is the equivalence point. Let's second calculation. This is the equivalence point related. So burette reagent volume, and in between this equivalence point and initial, this is one more calculation, third calculation, that is in between calculation, and finally after equivalence point one more calculation. This is after equivalence point. So in this strong acid versus strong base titration there are 4 type of calculations. What are these 4 type of calculations? See one by one. So pH calculation at various stages in the titration of strong acid versus strong base. If you look at this one, initial which is present, only HCl present. How this is calculated? This is calculated by using pH is equal to minus log of normality of the strong acid. So at the beginning level pH is directly obtained by this. Next, the second one, at equivalence point. At equivalence point, which will be there. So if you look at the previous slide, you can understand at equivalence point only NaCl is there. Now NaCl pH is calculated by using, this is NaCl, and corresponding pH is calculated by, this is the strong acid strong base salt. Already I mentioned this point. At equivalence points salts will be formed. Now apply salt hydrolysis pH. This is the salt hydrolysis pH. So what is the pH of NaCl? This is the pKw by 2, that is a 7 at 25 degrees centigrade. This is the second point. And if you look at the third one, in between initial and equivalence point, so left HCl and formed NaCl there. NaCl pH is 7 at 25 degrees. It's just like water, and leave about this one. Therefore from the left HCl only we have to calculate this. So what about this left HCl pH? Left HCl pH. How this will be calculated? This will be calculated from the resultant normality of the solution at that stage. At the beginning level we have taken some equivalent of strong acid. This is the equivalent of strong acid initially taken. In that some equivalents consumed by adding sodium hydroxide. So this is equivalent of strong base at that instant. So by volume in liters. What is volume in liter? Here that is the sum of the volume of both. What is this total volume? This is volume in liter. This is the sum of the strong acid volume and strong base volume. So like this you can calculate normality of the resultant solution at that instant. So here this is more value than this, that's why it's a positive value comes, and it represents H plus of the resultant solution. Therefore what is the pH of this resultant solution? So this is minus log of normality of the resultant solution. So in between initial and equivalence point, find the resultant normality of the conical flask solution. This is a conical flask solution only. Flask solution. How this will be obtained? From the initially how many equivalents of strong acid taken, from in that at that instant how many equivalent of strong base added, that will be consumed. The remaining difference will be left, that is acidic in nature, that's why the resultant normality is the H plus resultant. From that calculate pH of the resultant solution. And next fourth one, if you take the fourth one, so this is after equivalence point. After equivalence point what happened? At equivalence point already these two consumed, and which are left. So after equivalence point the added sodium hydroxide, gradually you are adding sodium hydroxide, that will be, and also formed sodium chloride at equivalence point. Sodium chloride is a neutral solution and its pH like water. Therefore whatever the left sodium hydroxide equivalents there, that represents at that instant pH of the solution. Now if you take this one, this is the left sodium hydroxide. So this is so after equivalence point. After equivalence point, if you take the third one, what is this left HCl? This is in between initial and equivalence point, right? Okay, if you take the fourth one, after equivalence point, NaOH left, and how this resultant normality is obtained. This resultant normality represents OH minus resultant, because the nature of the solution is the basic nature solution. Here, so you calculate equivalent of strong base added from the beginning, and from that how many equivalents of strong acid consumed, whatever the equivalent of strong acid initially taken, that will be consumed. And you know normality, what is the normality? So equivalence by volume in liter. So this difference equivalence of NaOH left, and this is the V total. Already I mentioned what is the V total. So volume of strong acid and volume of strong base at that instant, calculate it. From that calculate POH of the resultant solution. This is a minus log of normality of the resultant. From this calculate pH of the resultant solution. This is the pKw minus POH, that is a 14 minus POH, like this. So we can find so 4 different cases of this. So pH calculations, if you look at this one here, 4 different cases. Initial only HCl there, at equivalence point which will be there. So NaCl is there, and so in between initial and equivalence point left HCl there, that pH is calculated by using this information, and after equivalence point left NaOH there, from that only you can calculate. So get this pH calculation at various stages during the addition of NaOH for the given HCl solution in the conical flask. This is the first titration. Similarly, if you look at the next titration, this is the so weak acid versus strong base titration. That means here I am taking weak acid in conical flask. This is the strong base in the burette. Now here also same concept. So first write neutralization equation. What is the neutralization equation here? So let us consider this weak acid is the acetic acid, ACOH, and let this strong base is the sodium hydroxide. If you look at this one, this acetic acid now reacts with sodium hydroxide. It gives sodium acetate plus water. Here also same concept. So first initial which is present, only acetic acid is present, and this is a burette reagent. Okay, this is 0 0, and at equivalence point which will be there here, this is completely consumed 0, and here burette reagent up to this equivalence point it is a limiting reagent, and at this stage added sodium hydroxide also completely consumed. Only sodium acetate salt will be formed plus water. Okay, anyway, so water need not be considered. So if you look at this one, initially which is present, only acetic acid present, and at equivalence point salt will be formed, apply salt hydrolysis, and in between initial and equivalence point, what happened here? Left acetic acid, it is not completely consumed, left acetic acid and also formed sodium acetate. This mixture is there. So if you look at this, this mixture will be there in between this initial and equivalence point. So at initial stage only acetic acid, at equivalence point only salt will be there, and but in between initial and equivalence point left acetic acid and this sodium acetate will be there. Here one important note is whenever in burette take the strong base is or a strong acid is like a strong electrolyte, and in conical flask take it is weak acid or weak base, that is weak electrolyte. In this combination, in between initial and equivalence point, in between initial and equivalence point, buffers will be formed. Buffers will be formed here. So why buffers will be formed? You know this is the weak acid. So weak acid, and this is the weak acid salt with a strong base. Strong base. Therefore buffer will be formed here. And anyway, next here one more important point is there. Fourth one, this is in between. Third one is in between, and the fourth one is half of equivalence point. Half of equivalence point has one more importance. Here let V volume consumed at equivalence point. Let V volume is consumed at equivalence point. Where V by 2 volume is consumed, that point is off equivalence point. This is the off equivalence point pH. It has some importance in this titration. What is that importance? I'll explain. Anyway, in between initial and equivalence point, that total solution acts as a acidic buffer solution. This is acidic buffer solution. And anyway, default after equivalence point. After equivalence point, what happened here? Anyway, it is 0. After equivalence point, it is 0, and we are adding slowly. So we are adding the sodium hydroxide burette reagent, and apart from this, already this sodium acetate salt also there. So this mixture will be formed here. If you look at this one, at equivalence point, this will be formed here. At equivalence point, this is the mixture, and after equivalence point, this will be there. So mixture of NaOH and sodium acetate salt, and at the beginning level which will be there, that is initially only weak acid there. If you look at this one here, this is only weak acid initial stage, and at equivalence point this one, and so in between initial and equivalence point acidic buffer solution. Here off equivalence point has one more importance. So now we have to denote all these points here. So this is the first case, initial. This is at equivalence point, that is at equivalence point, and here this zone is completely. So third zone, this is the acidic buffer solution zone, and this is the half of equivalence point calculation. Fourth point, half of the equivalence point. This is the fourth calculation, and after equivalence point, this is the fifth calculation. So totally here how many calculations there? Initial pH, that is weak acid pH, at equivalence point salt hydrolysis, in between initial and equivalence point acidic buffer solution, third calculation, and half of equivalence point calculation, and last one after equivalence point. Now if you look at this calculation part, see one by one. So first one, initial pH, initially which will be there, only acetic acid is there, and at equivalence point which will be there, here sodium acetate salt will be there. So this is weak acid, this is the salt of what is this, weak acid and strong base, and in between initial and equivalence point, initial and equivalence point, which will be there here, buffer solution, acidic buffer solution there, acidic buffer solution, and that is the buffer solution of acetic acid plus sodium acetate mixture, and half of fourth point is half of equivalence point, half of equivalence point, and here also this is acidic buffer solution, but the importance is here. So left equivalence of acetic acid left is equal to equivalence of sodium acetate salt formed here, because only half equivalence of acetic acid convert into product. Left is half and formed also half, both are equal, that also acidic buffer solution. And fifth one after equivalence point, so here, so left sodium hydroxide plus sodium acetate will be there. These are the available mixture at that instance. Now if you take the weak acid, how do you calculate weak acid pH? You know this H plus is equal to under root Ka into C. It's a weak monoprotic acid, directly H plus is equal to root over Ka into C. But if you want to follow exact calculation, what is the exact calculation? Ka is equal to H plus square by C minus H plus. Apply quadratic equation and calculate exact calculation. This is a exact calculation pH. But rough calculation H plus is equal to root over Kc, from that calculate pH. And at equivalence point salt will be formed. How do you calculate salt pH? This is the weak acid and strong base salt. This is a pKw by 2. What is pKw by 2? 7 at 25 degrees centigrade plus half into pKa plus log C. By this only you can calculate a second case. And third case, it is acidic buffer solution. How acidic buffer solution pH is calculated? By Henderson's equation. pH is equal to pKa plus log of equivalent of salt formed by equivalent of weak acid left at that instant. And fourth one is half of equivalence point. This also acts as acidic buffer solution, but the left equivalence of weak acid is equal to formed equivalence of salt. Therefore these two equal. From this what we are getting, pH is equal to pKa only comes here. And last one, after equivalence point, left sodium hydroxide, this is a strong base, but this is the basic nature salt, this is so closer to 7, just more than 7, that's why compared to this is suppressed according to Kalman effect. Therefore you have to calculate pH of that. So how do you calculate pH? First find out resultant normality of the solution. How do you get resultant normality of the solution? From the beginning, how many equivalents of this sodium hydroxide added? This is the resultant normality, equivalents of sodium hydroxide from the beginning minus, in this how many equivalents consumed here? Acetic acid initially taken, consumed by, so total volume in liters. Like this calculate resultant normality. From this resultant normality, what is this? This is OH minus resultant. So from this calculate POH. What is the POH? Minus log of normality of the resultant. From this calculate pH is equal to pKw. You know pKw means 14 at 25 degrees centigrade minus POH. So like this you can calculate. See this one, in every case we have a definite pH calculation in this titration. If you look at this one here, I am giving this calculation part. First case acetic acid pH is calculated by this concept, and second case, so this is a salt hydrolysis pH that can be obtained by this equation, and in between initial and equivalence point acidic buffer solution that will be obtained by this, and even half of equivalence point, that is also acidic buffer solution, but these two equal. pH is equal to pKa, and after equivalence point the resultant solution is the OH minus. From that calculate POH. How to calculate resultant normality? By this only you can calculate. This is the equivalence of NaOH added from the beginning. So from that subtract how many equivalents of acetic acid taken initially, by normal is equal to equivalence by volume in liter. Like this you can follow. And if you look at this graph, that half equivalence point pH, what is the importance? This is the pKa of weak acid only. pK of weak acid. That is the importance of half equivalence point in this titration. Similarly, so if you look at this one, this is the weak base versus strong acid titration. In this weak base I am taking, this is ammonium hydroxide and this is the HCl from the burette, strong acid, and this is a weak base, ammonium hydroxide is a weak base. So here also if you look at this neutralization equation, that is ammonium hydroxide is taken in, so that conical flask, and for that add so HCl from the burette, then you are getting ammonium chloride plus water. Here also we are having so different cases. So first one initial, and this is the second one at equivalence point, and the third one in between initial and equivalence point, and fourth one half of equivalence point, and fifth one is after equivalence point. So here also there are 5 situations like previous case. Now if you look at this calculation, initially which is present, only ammonium hydroxide is present, and this is a burette reagent, this is 0 0. At equivalence point this becomes 0, even this becomes 0, this only ammonium chloride salt will be formed here, and anyway water also will be formed here, and up to this equivalence point burette reagent is the limiting reagent, because you are adding drop wise, that will be consumed here, and after, so between these two which will be left here, ammonium hydroxide left ammonium hydroxide plus formed ammonium chloride mixture will be there. So that's why in between this acts as this combination species. What is this combination species? Basic buffer solution. This is the basic buffer solution in between initial and equivalence point. This left ammonium hydroxide and formed ammonium chloride there, that is nothing but basic buffer solution. Okay, right, at equivalence point which will be there, only salt will be formed. Initially which is present, only weak base left, and after equivalence point anyway this is 0, but the added so HCl, that is a burette reagent, and apart from this formed ammonium chloride, this mixture will be there here, right? So this mixture will be there. So like this you can identify at each and every situation cases, initially only weak base is present, and at equivalence point only salt will be formed, and in between basic buffer solution will be there. After equivalence point, so left HCl and formed ammonium chloride there. You know HCl is a strong acid, ammonium chloride has acidic nature, but compared to HCl this will be suppressed. Therefore indirectly left HCl should be calculated. Now from this you can calculate all these. See these calculations. First one, this is a weak base, initial pH. So this is ammonium hydroxide pH, and the second one is at equivalence point, which will be there. This is the salt. Which salt will be there? Ammonium chloride salt will be there. And the third one, in between initial and equivalence point, which will be there, basic buffer solution, and here half of equivalence point has again importance, half of equivalence point, and finally after equivalence point. So finally 5 calculations there. So first case which will be there, ammonium hydroxide. At equivalence point salt will be there, we have to apply this pH calculation. And what is the basic buffer solution here? Left ammonium hydroxide and formed ammonium chloride. This basic buffer solution pH. And next one is half of equivalence point, where so this left equivalence of ammonium hydroxide and formed equivalence of ammonium chloride, both are same. So from this basic buffer solution, here also this is a basic buffer solution, apply basic buffer solution concept and calculate corresponding pH. And after equivalence point, this is HCl plus ammonium chloride, but this is suppressed, therefore it is like a HCl left. So we have to calculate like this. If you look at this graph here, this is the first case. This is the first case, weak base, and this is the equivalence point, and in between this buffer zone there, this is the basic buffer zone there. For at equivalence point, if volume V is consumed here, half of equivalence point volume is V by 2 consumes, and this half of equivalence point has importance. And finally after equivalence point. Now how many concepts involved here? At the beginning level, weak base, and this is at equivalence point. This basic buffer solution is the in between initial and equivalence point, and this is the half of equivalence point pH and pOH, and this is after equivalence point pH. So like these are 5 different zones there. In those zones, how do you calculate pH? Those pH can be obtained by these expressions only. Here look at this one, these pHs are, so how do you calculate weak base pH? This is Kb is equal to, this is OH minus square by C minus OH minus, previously I given for exact calculation, this is the expression. From this, if you want to calculate rough calculation, what is this? Root over KBC for approximation. So follow this calculation, from this get the pOH and so pH calculations. What is the pOH? Minus log of OH minus, from this only calculate pH, this is 14 minus pOH. See second, at equivalence point ammonium chloride salt there, you know this salt pH, this is pKw by 2. What is pKw by 2? 7 at 25 degrees centigrade minus half of pKb plus log C. So based on this you can calculate. And in between initial and equivalence point, basic buffer solution there. That basic buffer solution pOH is calculated by pKb plus log of equivalence of salt by equivalence of weak base. By this you can calculate. And even half of equivalence point, that is also basic buffer solution, but these two are equal. If these two are equal, how do you calculate this? pOH is equal to pKb. From this, what is the pH? 14 minus pOH, that is pKb. So at half of the equivalence point, pH can be obtained like this. And after equivalence point, the left HCl pH can be obtained. What is left HCl? That is the resultant normality is H plus, because so left solution has HCl, acidic nature. And how this can be obtained? From the beginning level, how many equivalents of added from the beginning? From the beginning, in that how many consumed here? Equivalents of ammonium hydroxide consumed, which is initially taken. The difference of equivalents of HCl formed to calculate normality, equivalence by volume in liter, but you have to use total volume. Total volume means sum of both strong acid and strong base, strong acid and weak base volume. So we are getting resultant normality. So from this calculate pH of the resultant solution is minus log of resultant normality. So like this you can calculate. So at various cases these pH calculations. So first pH is the weak base pH, and the second pH is the, so what is this, salt hydrolysis pH, ammonium chloride salt hydrolysis pH, and third one is the basic buffer solution pH. Fourth zone of equivalence point also, so basic buffer solution, but these two are equal, and the last fifth one after equivalence point, resultant solution nature is acidic nature solution, that pH is calculated by this. These are the different cases which are present in this weak base versus strong acid titration. Therefore finally if you look at this graph, and what is the off equivalence point pH, so this is the pH is equal to, this is 14 minus pOH. Off equivalence point pH is equal to 14 minus pOH. So like this, in this titration we have 5 cases. In this session I explained 3 titration curves. One is strong acid versus strong base, there 4 type of calculations there, and second one weak acid versus strong base, there 5 type of calculations there, and third one weak base versus strong acid, here also 5 type calculations there. These are the simple titrations. Okay students, in the next session, okay, I will explain complicated titration curves. Those are H2CO3 versus sodium hydroxide, H3PO4 versus sodium hydroxide, and even sodium carbonate versus HCl titration. So those are also very important for IIT advanced point of view. Okay, so well, so you have seen this explanation. Okay, if you like, please so like and share and subscribe my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is GN Reddy IIT JEE Chemistry online classes. Right. So thank you for watching this video. Right.